Jackie, 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 Jackie. Hello, everybody. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Lisa, and I am the Curvy Cuban. I specialize mainly in colorful eyeshadow looks. Today, we're going to be trying out the new ABH by Jackie Aina palette, and here she is in all of her beautiful glory. And if you want to see how I got this look, stick with me and just keep on watching. Today, I've gotten me another ABH palette. I did not get the Alyssa Edwards, which you all know, according to my last video, or not my last video, but a couple of videos ago, in which I filmed. I didn't buy it, but if I had. I really love the quality of ABH's shadows. I reach for my Subculture palette so often for the deeper tones in there, and so many looks that I have. And I feel like I can do a lot with this. I'm gonna do one look today with it, which is probably gonna be the most neutral look you'll ever see me do. I ultimately think I'll be using this palette to grab some of the purples and the browns and things like that, or really pretty shimmers on the lid to accompany with other looks that I do in the future. But I just wanted to give you an idea of why I picked up this palette as opposed to the Alyssa Edwards, in which I felt I already owned every other color that came in that palette. Well, let's just go ahead and get started. So lately I've been using my e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This one is in the shade of White Peach. Give me a nice light base to work on. I am so super excited because I finally treated myself to some Sigma brushes. I got myself this Sigma Duo Fiber Blend E41, which is this shading brush, a shading crease brush. And I want to start off in this palette by going into the shade Pinker. And I'm just gonna start creating a shape in my crease. And I feel like already my eyeshadow game has changed just by feeling the difference in using a high quality, almost luxury brush compared to what I have been using. Don't get me wrong, you can still achieve beautiful looks like I have been for a long time using cheaper brushes, but every now and then if you want to splurge, Sigma is a good place to start. Like I didn't even have to pack that, I just stroked in windshield wiper motions. So this has been an unbelievably rough week. My dear, dear, dear friend, Marianne, unexpectedly and suddenly lost her husband 2 days ago. It was very tragic, and she lost him much in the same way that I lost Jenny. In his sleep, suddenly, no known cause other than natural causes. They both suffered from diabetes, so Marianne is going through something so awful, which we've all experienced before. Some of us have not experienced it before, but in particular, I have experienced before, and I know the agony and the pain that she is just trudging through right now. And I just wanted to send a shout out to her and send love her way. And if any of you out there are Christians or pray like I do, if you could keep her in your thoughts and prayers as she struggles to get through this difficult time. Marianne and Paul are both extreme, Paul is the name of her husband, extreme animal lovers, and they have basically like an animal sanctuary at their home. They have 16 cats, 2 dogs, 3 chickens, and a rooster. And she lives up on a mountain with a lot of property, and any animal that comes her way, if they be strays or pregnant, you know, she'll take them to the shelters, get any animals that aren't fixed, and then release them back out. A lot of them are wild outdoor cats, but she does anything that she can in her power to try to make life better for animals and the animals that are around her. So in lieu of flowers, she's going to be asking that people just make some kind of animal toys, treats, things like that to the menagerie of animals that she and Paul own together. So I thought that was very, very nice. I'm now gonna go into the shade Supreme, which is this lighter color pink. And I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm just gonna go up a little bit higher and blend that in with Pinker. So I do think that Supreme is pinker than Pinker. I do want to be honest, when it comes to this palette, it does have quite a bit of a kickback in the pan. This does not bother me, nor does it mean anything to me, because I have grown accustomed to doing my eyes first, because my eye looks are usually so dramatic that anything I do has kickback or fallout, and I don't want to worry about ruining my face makeup after I do that. But if you could just take a look at the 2 shades that I've used so far, see if you can see the kickback that's already there. They're very, very soft shadows. So I'm really just kind of dipping into the kickback to get the pigment on my brush right now. They are blending out very nicely, and I love the way this brush is performing, keeping it exactly where I want it. I feel like I'm blending it out, but I'm not blending it up too high. It's more of like a concentrated blend, which I'm really liking. And I don't know whether or not to attribute that to the shadows or to the brush or a combination of both. But right now I'm just swapping back and forth in between the two shades, Pinker and Supreme, to build up the colors the way I'd like. I do want to get this crease a bit darker so I can apply, whenever I cut my crease, it'll be a nice stark contrast between the shimmer and the depth. I'm going to dip into Credit, which is this chocolatey brown. I'm going to be switching to the Sigma E47, which is a shader crease brush. And I'm just going to plummet this deep into the socket. I think I've got that where I'd like it, so let's switch over to cutting the crease. We'll be right back. Okay, my crease has been cut, and now I'm going to dip into the shade Big Wig, which is this purple. Tap in with my Sigma E47, and I'm just gonna pat that on the outer corner. And on top of that, I'm gonna take some of the purple shimmer called Shookington. We're just gonna lay that down on top of that purple. You to my Sigma E56, a lid shading brush, and I'm going to dive into the lightest of light, Trust Issues, and I'm going to put that on the inner corner. My base is still a bit tacky, which is what I was going for. I've been having some mixed results lately, waiting until my base dries, so I've been playing around with a couple of different techniques. I see some people do it after it's completely dry, some wait till while it's still tacky, and I think it really depends on the shadow formula you're using, because when I use my ColourPop Super Shock shadows, my base needs to be dry. It's like this where the pigments are a little bit more powdery, I feel like will work better on a tacky base. There's just so much kickback in this palette. I mean, you can see it crumbling on my brush. I'm applying crumbles. I figured a tacky base would be my best bet. I'm going in with the shade Lituation. It's the lit situation. And I'm gonna use the same shading brush and apply this to the center of my eyelid. And I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of this shade called Soleil to act as a transition between Trust Issues and Lituation on the inner corner. I think I'm just gonna go over Trust Issues with Soleil. And I feel like that gives it a better blend and a better transition to the color scheme we had. Yeah, I like that a lot better. The Soleil shadow is like butter. It did not have really any crumbly kickback to it like Trust Issues did. Trust Issues was a little bit harder for me to work with. I do want to go back into Lituation to pop this out a little bit more, make it a little more lit. I'm going to go back in with some more Pinker and get a little bit more richness up top. And on top of that, I'm gonna go in with Supreme, the lighter pink. And now I'm going to take a bit and go ahead and do my face makeup, and we'll be back for the lower lash line, inner corner, and all that jazz. While I am baking my cheeks, let's go ahead and do some lashes and liner. I'll just stick with black, a typical black liner. And this one's from NYX. It's the collection Noir. I'm just gonna pop that in my waterline. As for the top, I've got this Doucce Fierce and Fine graphic pen. I got this in an Ipsy bag a long time ago. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the lash glue to my absolute favorite lashes, Eylure by Talia. These are a reuse. It doesn't matter which Eylure lashes I use, I always come back to these as my absolute favorite. And I will use these probably 20 times before they wear out. The band is sturdy and the lashes they've got a good structure, let me just say that. I do not have to worry about them being flimsy when I take them off, and yet they are lightweight and not hard to, I don't know, it's just, I don't know how to explain them. They are perfect. They are perfect for me. And they're drugstore, so I've yet to try any high-end fashion lashes. Thus far, I don't need to, because these work just fine. Okay, so while I'm letting that dry, I'll go ahead and curl my lashes and show you my Laura Mercier mascara that I scored at TJ Maxx. I have 2 of them. And the reason why I have 2 of them is because one, which is the long lash mascara, has a super tiny wand, which is perfect for my lower lash line. And the other one is my, what is it called? Volume Supreme Lash Extension. And this one's got a thicker wand, thicker spoolie, so I use this for my top lash line. So there you have it. That is how this Laura Mercier mascara performs without the lashes on this eye compared to no mascara at all. So starting on the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with Big Wig, Sigma E47. And just smudge that lower lash line. I'm going to go in with Pinker. And I'm just going to gently dust in the general direction upward, the outer corner. Kind of have like a sweeping fade in this direction. Take my brand new inner corner shader, Sigma E46. Now I'm going to dip into Zamn. That is it for this eye look. So I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup, dust off this base, blush, lipstick, and we will be right back for my final thoughts. I have finished up my makeup. I will say I'm quite impressed with the way it came out. It is a nice, subtle, soft look for me. Normally I go a lot more vivid. At least I added some shimmer and a cut crease and everything, and I will be reaching for this mostly, like I said, to grab as a supplement to my other looks. I think all of the shimmers in this palette are extremely pretty. The mattes are extremely rich and buttery. However, they do have fallout. They do crumble. They're super, super soft, but I feel like the pigment stayed on my eyes and wasn't hard to retain. That is something that I've always loved about Anastasia's shadows, and the Subculture was one of the most controversial palettes that ever came out. People either loved it or hated it. I personally love it. I grab it all the time. I use it all the time, and maybe it's not the easiest for newbies, but I always grab it. So I do not care that this has a lot of kickback. As you can see, all the powder left in the pan. This might bother other people, so I thought I'd share it. I feel like the shimmers just go on absolutely beautifully. It's just such a rich color pigment. And to me, it's like we're going into fall, so it really has a transition here into your fall look. So take with it what you will. Not all of them are shadows. Some of them are pressed pigments. And as usual, you have to look at the box because there are a few of them that are not eye safe. I obviously will always use eyeshadows and pressed pigments on my eyes because that's the purpose of them, but some people do have sensitivities, so if you're sensitive, you probably aren't doing the kind of makeup looks I do. Anyways, all of my social medias are at the Curvy Cuban. If you can, don't forget to keep my friend Marianne in your thoughts and prayers. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, stay curvy, stay captivating, and I'll see you in a week.